And as always, we like to get started on time. And I'm very excited to have my good friend with me, Dr. Rachna. And today we're going to talk really about the stress. And I know if you're like me, somehow we are feeling a lot of stress, even though we think that, okay, we are at home, we are in a safe environment. But somehow I think all of the different situations that are coming upon us from having to work, manage family, I think it is putting a lot of burden and especially in our minds. So today I'm very excited to have Rachna. We're going to talk about stress diaries, tips, tricks, and self-help tools. So if you're feeling stressed, like maybe a little bit, even like me, or you're feeling numb, if you're remaining indoors and you're feeling a little bit alone and isolated, some of us have tough bosses to deal with. Some of us have family, parents, in laws all stuck in confined places, or you're caught in the whirlpool of too much to do. Some of us are also thinking about how to communicate and how can we communicate effectively, and anger issues, temper issues, all of these are rising. So I think probably all of us can relate to one of the above, and this session with Dr. Rachna will help us actually sail through all of these questions. So Dr. Rachna, I think a lot of you know her. She's a very big friend of Sipping Thoughts. We've had her on our shows before. She's a practicing therapist with over 20 years of experience. She heads the Department of Holistic Medicine and Wellness at Artemis Hospital in Gurgaon. She's also the founder director of the Mind and Wellness Studio. Along with her clinical experience, she has worked with over 250 leading corporate houses and over 500 educational institutions all over India. Her love for her work is clearly reflected in her writing, and she regularly features in various daily newspapers and magazines. You've probably heard her on Ishq FM 104.8 as a relationship expert. She was also featured as a relationship expert in MTV's Love School. So, with that, Dr. Rachna, a very warm welcome to Sipping Thoughts.
Thank you so much, Sukirti. And I'm so happy that I'm here with you once again. I was there a couple of times in the first wave as well. And it's nice to see us both dressed brightly. And I think that's the first step of the day that, if you look good, you will feel good. There is so much we need to change from mindsets to everything just to feel good. I know it's a very tough time now for everybody because all of us have lost somebody or the other close, and we keep hearing not the best news coming in all the time. In fact, constantly we keep hearing that how is it that how do I feel happy? I'm not feeling happy. I think that's a pertinent question which is coming by to me every day in so many forms and types, whether it's through my own patients or whether it's people who are asking on the radio show, or whether it's people who are just I write the column for Times of India every week. It's called
And congratulations, your last column was brilliant.
Yes, thank you. So, ask the expert section. So we every day in every form, I'm only getting one question, whether it's from friends, family, that, how do we stay happy when there's this constant grim environment, and genuinely so, it's a tough task. And I think firstly, it's very important, Sukiti, to even identify what is it that we are feeling. We don't even know what we are feeling, because a lot of people are saying, I'm not feeling, it's not depression. I'm not under depression, but I'm not feeling all right. I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling motivated. I don't feel like doing stuff the way I used to feel like doing stuff. So yes, it's an effort. We all need to get there, and we'll all, reach while we, talk today, to help understand what's the best we can do in these coming times, and how to keep ourselves afloat and positive through these coming difficult times. And I am hoping the wave seems to have started to bend. So fingers crossed there. So I think we've started the session on a very lovely day today, because I think the wave has just started to bend as of yesterday and today. So let's we put all our positivity together through this session, and let's hope I can make some changes in people's mindsets who are listening to us. The purpose here, for me being here to interact with everybody, is so that we can make some changes. Otherwise, you can YouTube anybody and listen to them, right? But the fact that we're here live is the fun of it, is to interact. So I'm hoping all of us are going to interact with each other, and it's a journey, it's a learning process. I'm going to learn via you, and you learn via me, and we're all learning together via Sipping Thoughts giving us this wonderful platform, and Bloomsbury as well, who you know asked me to write a book how to manage stress, and it's now called the stress. It's called the mental health first aid kit, so that you have it on your shelf, and if you're feeling low, you're feeling anxious, you can just grab it. And as we go along, we'll talk more.
No, but you're so right, because I'm such a smiley person. And even when we're doing a lot of these sipping thoughts sessions, sometimes I feel, am I smiling too much? Am I too happy? Should we be even doing them? And it's been a tough part in our journey to kind of say, no, you know what, we at least need to keep pushing forward. So, Dr. Rachna, thank you for doing that. So, other than stress, what are some of the key things that you are seeing people are going through right now?
So, like what I was mentioning to you, Sukiti, right now, that, there's this feeling which we aren't able to identify with. That what is it that we're feeling? It's a bit of demotivation. It's a bit of not being all there. Certainly, there's no happiness. It's a grim feeling. There's a lot of fear attached, because we don't know who's going to get the virus, what's going to happen, where are we going to be tomorrow, will we get the oxygen? That's all what we are fearing, at the end of the day. So, this blah feeling is what they're calling it, the blah feeling. It's basically called languishing. That's what we are feeling right now, versus saying that I'm feeling depressed or stressed. Yes, so that is the exact kind of feeling what we are going through. So this is what we're seeing, and of course we're seeing changing dynamics everywhere, Sukirti, whether it's workplace, whether it's families, whether it's relationships, because the virus and the pandemic, they have taken a toll not only on the physical health, but a lot on the mental platform also. And we're seeing, what we're calling a new normal. Like I was mentioning to you in the morning, I was doing a session for Reserve Bank of India, and, they were all talking about, what is the new normal going to be after even after a year, because it seems like there's going to be a lot of change which we are going to have to accept. Because even after the first wave, I think by Jan and Feb, everybody had started to take baby steps into going back into a normalcy of life. No, we had all started to go out, grab some food to eat, go to a favorite restaurant once in a while, sit with family, friends, back again. The joy had started coming back. People were meeting in small groups, only to know that it was going to hit harder. Nobody expected it coming this way. So after this wave, there is obviously a deep sense of disappointment and a deep sense of desperation as well, because we don't know where this is taking us. So yes, it's a lot that we are dealing with. But the good side is that there's, whenever there is a crisis, we'll always, if we look at the positive side of it, we will always learn from a crisis. And it's time to learn from the crisis as well.
But before I go on, I'd like to ask all of you, how are you feeling today? And please let us know, because we really do want to know. And we hope all of you are feeling okay. So please do tell us. And the next question, of course, I want to ask Dr. Rachna is that, of course, this is your first book that you've written, or is it?
Yes, it's the first book. So I've been writing a lot of columns, and I've been writing I do a lot of blogging, etc. But yes, this is my first book. Yes. And okay. I was very fortunate. Yes, thank you. And I was very fortunate to have such a fantastic, publishing house like Bloomsbury. And, so yes, it's my first and not the last, because we were already talking about doing a sequel soon on relationships. Let things start settling in, and then we'll reach there as well.
So all of you, I urge you, please do tell us how you're feeling. We hope you're feeling well. And with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Rachna to get started. And we are hearing, I'm absolutely fine, thank you. Happily learning. Could we please know about the blog? So Dr. Rachna, please tell us about
it. So if you just type my name, the book Neerja will share the name of the book. It's called Stress Diaries. And it's easily available on Amazon. And it's a very reasonable book. And everybody should have it on their shelf. Talks a lot. They're all anecdotal narratives, and it's got a lot of self-help tips, a lot of paper pen exercises, and a lot otherwise also to some exercises. Otherwise also breathing exercises, what to do when you're, let's say, anxious, what to do when you're down and out, and so on.
Great. I just want to ask you one last question. Do we use this word correctly? I am stressed. Or are we just overusing this word? And I will hand that to you, because I'm sure this is all what your talk is about.
So Kirti, I think what we're overusing is words like anxiety, words like depression. We are really overusing them and using them in common parlance. Not even knowing what they really mean, because clinical depression is something very serious, and it's a mental illness. And people, I see small kids have started using it in such common parlance, saying I'm depressed, and that's obviously it's coming from the fact that the families are using it, people around them are using it. We're hearing it all over on the media, we're using it wrongly. So yes, be very very careful when we are using words like these, because um, these negative, a lot of negative words also end up creating negative energy spirals around us, right? So I think, Sukriti, there's no debate about positive energy and negative energy, right? I mean, we all understand that there is something called positive energy and something called negative energy, right? Now, if we are going to use negative words in our language, so we're only going to create a negative energy cycle, circles around us. And if we create if we create that in language, it's our mind, the mind will create negative thoughts, the thoughts are going to create negative actions. And and if I am feeling negative, the immune system is going to go down. My immune system goes down, I'm going to attract the virus. So why don't I do the reverse? I rather think positive, so that to keep the virus away, I think positive, I raise my immunity, I do positive things, I think positive thoughts. So it's all cyclical, right? So I need to stub it even when I'm getting negative thoughts. So I need to stub it, because like I said, negative thoughts are going to create negative actions, and positive thoughts are going to create positive actions. And I can see somebody beautifully wrote gratitude. So positive thinking and positive thoughts of gratitude are going to create positive actions. So if we go on talking about, am I going to be sick? What's going to happen to me? कल सुबह क्या होगा? मुझको ऑक्सीजन मिलेगा? मुझको बेड मिलेगा? If I am going on revolving myself around a lot of negative language and a lot of negative thinking, then we all know the law of attraction. I'm going to attract negativity. I think positive, I'm going to attract positivity. So we really need to take away the shouldn'ts, couldn'ts, and the don'ts out of our language, and thereby, yes, we need to take not use heavily laden words like anxiety and depression so easily. Should really understand their meaning and then use them. It would be better to say that I'm feeling sad. It would be better to say that. And so that's what. So it's important to understand what we feel right now.
So over to you. Should we start the deck? And
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Rohit, will you share?
Okay, let's go, Rohit. Let's go to the next slide. And the next. All right, just go to the next slide. Yeah, okay, so have a look at this, guys. So I've just put some stats together for all of you. So, the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to be, presenting a few things to all of you so that you have a little idea of and a structured idea of and structured learning. And, I'm also going to ask you to interact with us in between so that we all are equally and nicely engaged, and we all can take the joy out of the this particular topic that we are doing. So have a look at this. These are stats from the WHO, which say that 1 in every 4 people suffer from some mental health concern or the other. Now, these stats are pre-first wave, pre-COVID. Right now the situation is such that people who are already suffering from anxiety and depression, their scores have gone exponentially high. People who were not experiencing such things have started experiencing it. So as we all understand, mental health has come completely onto the forefront. We're looking at stats close to 1 in every 2 people now. So literally every second person here is having some mental health concern or the other. Next, please. So I just want to bring this to everybody's notice so that, we understand how grave it is not to take care of our mental health. So if you just See, look at the statistics which says that 80% of the people with clinical depression do not receive any treatment. So I would like to reverse this, guys, and tell you that, if 80%, if people were to receive treatment, could you believe then the statistics would be so, so much better. We wouldn't be looking at this 1 in 4, 1 in 2 figures. Next, please. So, why I have put these bit of gory statistics, which is actually the truth for everybody to understand, so that we shouldn't push mental health at the back anymore. Like every hour, one student commits suicide in India, which is really, really sad. So, like I said, if we were to get up, get help, take charge of the emotional and the mental side of our health, we would be very, very sure that we will not be looking at such horrendous statistics. And, maybe we would be looking at maybe one suicide every, maybe month, or not even that much, So it is time that we start paying a lot of attention to this. Next, please. So what is happening? Why is it that 80% people are not really getting up and taking treatment? Of course, there was a huge amount of stigma attached to, going to a therapist or going to a mental health professional or a psychiatrist. And I would say things have really changed in the last 5 years. And we see people in the OPDs, knocking our doors. And I'd say ever since the last 1 year, things have changed even more. And sadly, after the demise of, unfortunate demise of Sushant Singh Rajput, even then mental health came completely onto the forefront, and loads of students were reaching out to us. Am I feeling all right? So yes, there is a lot of destigmatization happening. And why, thanks to organizations like yours, like Sipping Thoughts, like the media, who are putting it onto the forefront, saying that, look, this is a concern, and guys, we better address it. So if someone is feeling constantly low, someone is feeling constantly anxious, please do seek help, And I always had this vision a few years earlier also, where I would tell people that, what is it when people meet nutritionists, they so proudly say, oh, this is my nutritionist. But when they meet the therapist, sometimes they'll just bypass them and go away because half the family doesn't know they're in therapy. But let me tell you, all that has really, really changed now. And I can share this example very often that, one of the Vogue Women of the Year 2019 was a client with me. And, it was lovely. I bumped into her. This is right pre-pandemic at a social gathering. And she took me by my arm and introduced me to, Delhi's Who's Who. And I was like, aren't you afraid? She said, why should I be? Because, I was going through a low patch. I took therapy and I'm feeling so much better. And, so this is, so it's very nice that people are understanding, accepting, and coming in the forefront. Next, please. So, of course, health and wellness is a complete need of the hour today, because, say about 15, 20 years ago, our parents were not sitting and debating and thinking about, how to get better health and better, because it wasn't so much, there wasn't a need. But today, this is the complete need of the hour. Next, please. We look at basic goals like mind, body, soul. Next. So good nutrition, some amount of physical activity, awareness about self, which is stress management, and coming to something very important. Now, we are not only looking for wellness, to be in complete wellness with oneself and complete health. We are not only looking at just mind, body, spirit, or mind, body, soul. We're looking at the other dimensions of physical, social, spiritual, environmental, emotional, and intellectual. If we are well in all these fronts, is when we are going to feel well. Next, please. Okay, so quick, because we said that we're going to talk a little bit about stress. So everybody is seeing this caption which says stress. So quickly, I'd just like everybody to answer that what is making this woman feel stressed? What is that one word which is making her feel stressed? Okay. Anyone else?
Multitasking.
Okay, fantastic, Kash. So multitasking is the answer, that what is really making her stressed is the multitasking. So let's go to the next slide. So, okay, before this, tell me how many tasks you think our mind can do at one given point of time before feeling stressed, without feeling stressed? Take a guess. You can type in your answers.
I say 3 tasks.
3 tasks. Okay, Sukirti.
Because you can chew gum and cook and listen to the radio.
Okay.
Jasleen says 2.
Jasleen. Anybody with a guess?
Dharmika says 2. Lata says 2. 2 to 4. Lavanya says 2. Venkatesh says 1.
Okay, so 2 tasks is what we can do at any given point of time without the mind and the brain getting very overstressed. But what are we doing? We're typically doing more than at least 4 to 5 tasks at one go. So exactly like what you're saying, Sukirti, you're chewing gum, looking at the screen, answering a phone call, thinking what you have to cook for the kids in the evening, thinking of some work to be, done at home, thinking of also what needs to be given at work, what needs to be presented. So many things are going on in our head. So obviously then the mind and the brain feel very, very tired. So what is stress? Stress is nothing. It's just a response of the body to a situation that we perceive as harmful. Next, please. So, all of us, there is nobody who's not felt stress, right? At any given day, in fact, any given point of time, many points of time in the day, we feel stress. So, you can have different names, stress, tension, tanav. तो एक दिन के अंदर हम बहुत सारे ऐसे समय आते हैं जिसपे हमारे तनाव के स्तर ऊपर नीचे जाता है. So I would ask everybody to answer this. What do you feel when you're stressed? What do you feel? So this is about identifying your feeling. Okay, Prabjot, alone. Go for it, Kanika. Angry. Sukirti, you would probably like to read.
Confused. Yeah, confused, tired, irritable, anxious, frustrated, feeling like not doing anything, anger, irritation, emotional, eating. I feel like myself running after time, overthinking and alone, mixed emotions, restless, helpless, unwell, like a robot. What to do, I think. Angry, says Amita.
Okay.
Helpless.
So, Ruhi is also saying, suicidal thoughts. Okay, so let's what I've done for everybody's ease. In fact, these are the next 3-4 slides are some very old slides. So we've clubbed them in different buckets. So next, please. So it's to help you understand better. So some emotional symptoms of stress: irritability, anger, fear, sadness, apprehension. Next, please. Cognitive symptoms: difficulty in focusing, concentration. Next, please. So disturbances in sleep and appetite, increase of appetite, decrease of appetite. Sometimes you're sleeping too much, sleeping too less, loss or gain of weight, palpitations, easily getting fatigued. Next, please. Some behavioral symptoms like what we all are facing nowadays, what we were talking about, disturbed motivation, performances decrease, increase in use of all kinds of substances, whether it's tea, coffee, smoking, alcohol. Next. Yeah, so Kanika's talking about it. So look at this. This is what's happening to all of us right now in the times of today. Next. So what I've done for everybody's ease is I've divided our lives into these 5 buckets, and I want everybody to do this work for themselves. And like I promised, this is this presentation it's not a presentation, it's more like a self-evolutionary journey, right? So this is for everybody's ease. So always remember that if we do not know the problem, we will never know the solution. So for us to first, very, very importantly, to understand where is the problem lying. So thereby I've, divided it into different buckets. So self, couple, parenting, elderly, and work life. Next, please. So, self-related issues is what a lot of us, which you have all put down, is what we are feeling. Have a look at the slide. A lot of us are feeling some of these or many of these. Next. Yes, it's a very difficult time for a lot of people with, weak relationships because people with weak relationships, what's happening is a weakness of the relationship has come to the forefront. So discord, we are seeing a lot of increase in discord because the personal frustrations are super high also. So a lot of dormant issues are coming up. No, in fact, 2020, post the pandemic, I will take you through, Sukiti, when we finish, I will take you through what the difference was in the first wave and what it is in the second wave, So we saw that there was a large number of cases of domestic violence and divorce being filed in the latter half of 2020 because, like I said, the personal frustrations were so high that they were coming out on your significant other, which is your partner. Next. Of course, I think lots of people, lots of women who are typically going to resonate with this because either we've had screaming, shouting teenagers banging doors at home because not knowing how to release their frustration, or we've had kids struggling with the Zoom calls, and I feel the poor little kids, and Sukiti also would possibly second that every mother sitting on the Zoom call with the small little children, and I mean kids haven't been to school for an entire year plus. My daughter's in the 12th grade, finishing 12th grade. We don't know when the boards are going to be, So, and for these kids, they're never going to go back to see all their friends and their school, which they've grown up in, because the entire 12th grade, they've just not gone to school, So there's a lot of insecurity. There's a lot of uncertainty. Very hard to keep the energy levels of the children, uh, properly satiated, very hard to keep them properly occupied. How do we keep them indoors? One time we were all talking about earlier pre-pandemic that, make sure kids go out for activities. What do we do? So it's a difficult time. Next, please. So yes, and the elderly, which is the most vulnerable section of the society currently. So yes, we are fortunate to either have some elderly at home or maybe in our neighborhood or around, or else our elders are maybe sitting a little, far away from us. So this really is the time which becomes our responsibility to kind of take care of them. And this is a question I keep getting every other time, that how do I make sure that the elderly around me are keeping well? Because at the end of the day, what are they really facing is the loneliness, besides the fear. The fear is also super high of the virus, and then the loneliness because they've done away with their walks and their laughter clubs and everything which they used to love going to do. And more difficult for them is the fact that they are not tech savvy. And I think that's one question, and even if somebody doesn't ask me right now, is what I want to answer, because it's something which keeps cropping up. And what can we do? Please be inclusive towards them. Please include them. Please sit with them. Please enable them technologically. Please help them create WhatsApp groups with their family, cousins, friends. Get them onto Zoom calls. Please do that a little bit for them, because, like I said, it's hard for them. Next, please. And of course, work from home. All of us, or most of us, I guess, are working from home, and it's a tough call. And I always, joke with people and say, I'm presenting, but you have no idea. I might be sitting with I might be wearing pajamas down below, although that's not true. But yes, work from home had become a big nuisance for a lot of people. In fact, 2020 in Microsoft CEO Nadella said, that work from home is going to create a lot of mental stress for the employees. And there was a big survey on it also, because we lost the human contact, right? At the end of the day, the human touch is lost, and, gone are the times when you're, patting each other's back in the cafeteria or talking to somebody, or, the physical contact, touch, that warm handshake, hug, or a little bit of anger or upset is all drifted into emojis. So it's not the best time. And yes, the work from home has also messed up the circadian rhythm for most people, where what's happening even for kids going to school, even for people, all of us working, people are just waking up in the morning and straight rolling from the bed into the Zoom call is what I tell all the kids what they're doing, So yes, it's a different life altogether right now, but we need to manage it at the best possible way. Next, please.
So, Rachna, before we go to the next, so you said that we first need to understand our problems. So, out of these things, that should we now start to list which ones are really impacting us, or how do we do it?
Absolutely. Like I said, that, for everybody, because it's hard in a group for me to look into everybody's work. But like I divided all the concerns into 5 buckets. So you could write down on a paper under those 5 buckets, which is of self, parenting, couplehood, work. You could write these down, and elderly could write these down and see where in which area what all problems are lying. So once I'm sure which areas I'm targeting, then I'll be able to find the solution a lot easier as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So then looking now at the stress management bit of it, so of course, so far we discussed about what is stress, what's happening to us, what are the symptoms of stress, what is it that I'm feeling. Now let's look at how are we going to manage it. So we always go with this beautiful ABC strategy where we say awareness is what we did in the first portion to make ourselves aware of what the problem is. Because if I'm not aware, I will never be able to find a solution, right? If I don't know the maths problem, I don't know what to do with that equation until I know what the problem is. So I must identify the problem. The clearer my problem, the clearer the solution. Always remember. So next, please. Like I was saying, the ABC strategy next. So what is causing you stress? How are you reacting to it? Next. How are we balancing, which is a fine line between positive and negative stress? Next. And how am I going to control it? So let's go to the next, please. Next. So first and foremost, there are a few things which we are going to talk about is changing our thinking, changing our behavior, and changing our lifestyle. Next. Very, very importantly is positive thinking. It's exactly what we were talking in the beginning also, Sukirti, that, if what I need to change is first my mindset, then I will change everybody else's mindset. No, I'm not going to start, fixing other people's mindset. That's not my job. My job is to change my mindset first. So I am going to start with using positive language, using positive affirmations, using positive thoughts and positive thinking. Now, it's not all that easy because, I wish I had an injection which we could say, okay, come on, let's give a shot every day of positive thoughts. So it's not that simple. It's like, let's say when we commit ourselves to lose 5 kgs of weight, right? Is it simple? No, you have to work. You have to go to the gym. You have to stop eating that extra sweets. You have to do all that. So similarly, you need to train your brain. It's not simple, but it's not tough at all. If we put an aim, we can do it. So, starting your day with some positive thoughts. And I think, nowadays one of the things we're also fortunate about is some beautiful WhatsApp, lovely messages which float every morning in all our groups, where people put up prayers, people put up some positive thoughts. So great to wake up to some positive thoughts in the morning and continue the thought process, because like I said, the more positive you are, the positive thought will create positive action. That is going to make sure that your immunity is going to be high and you will be able to not attract the virus, right? Okay, next, please. So a change in diet, having a healthy diet, smoking, we say no to, alcohol in limitation, exercise, which I'll talk about a bit, getting sufficient rest, a good night's rest, anywhere between 7 to 8.5 hours, whatever suits anybody. Everybody has their own body system. We must know our body systems by now. Leisure and relaxation, humor, it's a must. So, these are things which we need to make sure that we are incorporating every day. Next, please. So I'm going to give you a little bit before we go on to a Q&A. So Sukirti, I have 5 more minutes.
Yes, please. And then
Okay,
we'll
thank
take
you.
Q&A.
Yeah.
We have lots of questions that have already
That's it.
come.
So I'll take 5 minutes so that I think because I feel I'll be able to answer some of these questions in the next two slides. So, a very, very important thing. One is fixing your routine. So, regular sleep and regular meals. So what we need to do is not disturb, not what's happened is most of us have started the circadian rhythm that has got distorted, right? Because like I said, we're at night binge watching, then waking up late, and we don't have those many hours of commute anymore to work. So what we've done is messed up with the body clock. So that is something we need to fix first. And that is also incorporated into this is also the screen time. What's happening is when we using screens right before sleeping, we're not going to produce the sufficient amount of melatonin. And if we're not producing melatonin, we are not going to get a good night's rest. So please switch off your screens at least half an hour, 45 minutes before sleeping. So first and foremost, like I said, fix a routine for yourself, stick to it. Second thing is physical exercise. In the first wave, I was professing exercise twice a day, once for yourself and once in the lockdown with your family, join a Zumba, Bhangra, yoga class, whatever suits you guys. But now we're saying at least once a day, it's a must to do physical exercises. We all know that positive hormones are released via it. And now there is, we've been professing breathing exercises forever as mental health experts. But now even all the physical health doctors are saying there is no substitute to breathing exercises and pranayam because your lungs are going to stay very well capacitated and you will not, attract the virus. And in any which way, breathing exercises like the pranayam immediately allows the thymus gland to release the T cells, which are basically your, immunity cells. So you will get much better immunity. Meditating for 10 to 15 minutes a day. And if you've never tried it, this is the time, try it. You can do something simple, as simple as just sitting by yourself and, just keeping quiet. If you want to, there's so many now apps, so many things available online which you can kind of use and go for meditations. In fact, so many of the spiritual gurus are hosting mass meditations free of cost, and the energy of mass meditations is something which is completely different. It is huge. It's like saying that when you go to a gurdwara, church, or temple, you come back with a totally different energy, isn't it? You sit in the gurdwara for half an hour, you feel so different because the energy is totally different. When we're praying in a mass, in a group, the energy is totally different. And very, very importantly, please ensure that you're indulging in some positive activities. Identify a hobby which got long lost somewhere, which we all loved something or the other in school and college, got lost on the way. So it's known, research shows us if 2 hours of 2 hours of a hobby we indulge in, even once a week, twice, 2 hours, then also we end up releasing a lot of positive hormones like serotonin and endorphins. So, cooking, writing, music, picking up that instrument which is lying somewhere, getting back to those games of chess, whatever works for you. Daily prayers, chanting, grounding exercises are fantastic. If you can indulge in them, nothing like it. And, uh, acquiring a new skill at this hour, that's one of the most positive things we can do. So something which you've been waiting to learn, somebody who just maybe never cooked before, trying something new out, there's so many things available online. People are, learning new things, a language, learning, picking up a book, so many new things. And like I was saying, for the meditations also, I have an app called the Mind and Wellness, which is an app on the Android platform. You can all download it. It's a very simple app. It's no monetary exchange in that app. You can just simply download it, and it's probably one of the best apps for mental health. Everything, all the information under one roof, so that you're not referring to wrong stuff. And last and not the least is the fact. I'll show you the app, Vedehi. I'll just show you in the next slide. And last and not the least is a good support structure. In the first wave, we were saying even if you have 5 people on your fingers, you should be happy. If you have 5 people to reach out to on the second wave, now we're saying even if you have 3 people, you should feel blessed. So, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude is all what we have to talk about. Next, please. So, like I said, some fresh air and sunlight daily, reading some inspiring books. We are also saying now, by the way, everything doesn't need to be done mindfully. Earlier, we were talking about mindfulness. Now, I'm actually also professing that do anything which keeps your worry away. So even if it's mindless stuff, just babbling with the kids, or just listening to some light music, or listening to whatever you feel like, or watching those silly comedy movies, doing anything which changes the environment of your home at this hour is what is going to help you sail through. And another very important thing is volunteering, which all of us are doing in our own way. Like, I'm a part of 4 helplines. So what happens is that volunteering is an activity when you help others, compassion, it's known to release the oxytocin, which is again a positive hormone, which is the hormone which is released when, you hug a child, or a platonic friendship. So this also allows, so this will help you be very rounded, And one very important thing is, which I just wrote recently also in Times of India about, I think this is about 4 or 5 days ago, that please watch or read the news very mindfully. From every end, we are getting negative news, negative suggestions. So, you really don't need to watch the news all day long. Even if people in your home are doing it, please stop them. Reading the newspaper one time in the day is more than enough. You read the paper in the morning, in the evening, you can switch on your TV set for about half an hour. Be very mindful of the channel you're watching. I hope you filter out, and which channels you'd like to watch. Because, in fact, if you hear some of the spiritual gurus, they're saying, why are you even watching the news? There is no need, because there's no need to watch such visuals, which are, because they really impact our mental health negatively. So please be very, very mindful of what we are consuming. It's like consuming a wrong diet, no? If I'm unwell and I'm going to, and every day going to eat butter chicken and a chaat papdi, I'm sure my stomach's never going to get well, right? So if I'm already feeling down and out and I'm going to load myself with a whole lot of negativity, I'm not going to feel well. So please learn where to cut it out. Next, please. Of course, there are some positive statements, what we were talking about. So I've again bifurcated it into different, we all know what affirmations are, most of us. So I've bifurcated into different areas. No, how Sukiti, we bifurcated the problems in different areas. So thereby bifurcated the affirmations also into different areas.
So just leave the slide up. So if somebody wants to take a picture, that would,
Oh yeah, most welcome. Yeah, it's and these are all you can. Otherwise, you could Google Louise Hay. 101 affirmations. She's the boss of affirmations worldwide, and we all learn from her affirmations, and these are been picked from her as well. It's just that I've divided it into buckets, so that whichever areas are concerned, let's just start doing the affirmation there. Okay, next, please. So, guys, this is the app I was talking about. So it's we don't have it on an iOS platform. It's on the Android platform only. Next, please. And with this, I end the presentation, open to all of you for all your lovely questions. So this is the book. The app's name, Mrityunjay, is The Mind and Wellness. You go on to Play Store, you'll find it. And yeah.
So Dharmika, we'll start with your question. Go ahead.
Yeah. And this is the book, Stress Diaries, and you can grab it on Amazon. It's available, and it's a very reasonably priced book, and it's great to have on your shelf. Yes, go for the question, please.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you for today's session. It was very informative. And earlier, I was completely clueless about all these things. But now the concepts have edged on my mind. Ma'am, my question to you is like, this is the challenging time for all of us. People are losing their loved ones. And of course, we are stuck at homes and we are feeling like prisoners. So what we can do to overcome the fear of COVID? So this is the biggest fear that I'm facing nowadays. Whenever I switch on the TV, I always hear the negative news that this, deaths and deaths all around. And of course, lost my loved ones as well. So how can I overcome the fear of COVID?
So Dharmika, it's very, very, it's, your question itself had a lot of answers in it. Firstly,
Yeah.
thank you so much for
You're welcome.
appreciating. So, fear is for anything, wherever there's a fear. So, of course, earlier also I professed 5, 6 things which we must do to keep sure that you said that you're, you feel like a prisoner in the home. How do we do?
Yeah.
How do we stay motivated is what I heard you say. Besides about the fear, I will just come back to. So yes, there are these, like I said, there are these 6, 7 things you must do on a daily basis. Keep a schedule going, and 45. So about an hour 15 on your body and mind every day, 45 minutes for a some physical exercise, which is going to release some positive hormones, which will counter the negativity, counter the negative fear. 10 to 15 minutes of breathing exercises work well on your nervous system, which will make your nervous system very strong. Again, you're going to be able to fight the fear. Fourth thing is the 10, like I said, 10 minutes of meditation, allowing us to ground, whether it's chanting, some exercises, some nice meditational work. 15 minutes of that's an hour 15 on yourself is all what we need to do to keep ourselves grounded, keep ourselves. Understand there's no happiness around, but we'll have to start finding the happiness. Like I said in the beginning, every crisis also comes laced with some positivity. We need to kind of hold on to that positivity. Yes, I'm really sorry to hear that you have lost your dear ones, and I don't think anybody sitting here hasn't. Everybody's lost somebody or the other in this particular way. The last 15 days have been so difficult. What are we going to do? We are going to, and you also said a very beautiful thing, by the way, just the fact you showed gratitude for learning, right? You just showed, so whenever there is a low feeling, it will only get fulfilled by positive feelings, no? So gratitude, appreciating. So you appreciated me. I felt nice. You felt nice giving gratitude to somebody. So these are things which will help you move on and feel positive, right? And very importantly, replacing fear with faith. That is what needs to be done. Keeping the faith on. Fear will go away with faith. Fear will go away with positive affirmations that I am well. My family is well.
Yes.
I feel well. That is what I am, full of joy and happiness. I am free of all fear. So if Rohit, if you could just show that slide on the positive affirmations, that has exactly what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm whole and complete in mind and body. I'm in the best of health. If every breath I'm saying these positive things around, I am going to be sure I'm creating a positive energy around and positive atmosphere around. So then obviously the virus will not, be that attracted. Of course, you have to keep all the COVID protocol in mind. I'm not saying that, do away with the masks and do away. We have to keep all that in mind. Along with that, we have to keep positive mind frame going. So so keeping faith is what is going to get rid of the fear.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Next question we'll take from Lata. Lata, go ahead. All right, while we wait for Lata's question, Sarmeet has asked one. How does one deal with the lack of purpose in life that's been created by a loss of a job?
So yes, so right now, Sandeep, I think we're all just dealing with the issue of life and, health. That's on the prime forefront for all of us right now. I think hopefully everybody will be well, and another little while, we're going to be having to grapple with a lot of financial insecurity and a lot of, crash in the economy. That is what the new normal will also look like. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be that simple. So yes, that there is a fear. There is a fear. There is insecurity. But like I said, we will have to create faith to say that we are well. And there is a lot of uncertainty, Sarmeet, no doubt. It is there in the environment. But am I going to crumble down and say, oh my God, kitna uncertain environment hai. Oh my God, what's going to happen to my finances? Oh my God, am I going to get sick tomorrow? the more you say all this is more you're going to attract all this, right? So the more I say that I am fine, I am, I am fine in mind and body, I attract only positive and nourishing experiences. This is what I have to keep saying all the time when I'm praying also, that I'm attracting only positive and nourishing experiences. I'm attracting things which are good for my higher self. If I change my mindset, change my language, trust me, you're going to change a lot of things around. And even in crisis, you will see opportunity.
The next question we'll take from Lata. Lata, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Very interesting lecture, but I just want to, share a few things. See, all this COVID and all is fine. In fact, I've also had it. My family got it and I didn't get it for about 10 days. I was very happy, very grateful. But right at the end, I got it. So I don't know, people say positivity and all, but maybe I don't know if it works. But what I want to ask is, when you're sitting by yourself, unfortunately, you remember so many past incidents, like, you could have done better in an exam or something like that. And those negative thoughts really haunt you. So how to deal with those?
Okay. So Lata, firstly, just to share with you that, like I said, that yes, it's everywhere. You should just be grateful that all of you are well out of it. So we are saying कि अगर किसी के घर में आए भी तो बस आके चले जाए, So I would say that you should feel blessed that आया और चले गया, So it didn't harm you beyond a point. So that's a blessing by itself. When we get these negative thoughts, so in a day we would be getting about 60,000 thoughts or so, is what is mapped. So when we get negative thoughts, the first and foremost important thing to do is to say, recall and cancel that thought. I am going to stop the thought at its onset. मैं जो उसका जो जहां से उत्पन्न हो रहा है ना, वो एकदम वहीं पे ही उसको cancel कर.
No, I'll tell you one thing. Sorry, interrupting. In your normal life, like before, we were so busy. You kept yourself so busy that all these ghosts of the past never really haunted you. But now that you're sitting by yourself, nothing much to do. So, these all these old things, they come up and they sort of, really trouble you. That is what is, difficult to deal with.
Okay. So there are two things here. So one is if you're getting repeated negative thoughts, like I said, we need to cut the spiral and we need to say, cancel, we try and try again. Second thing is if you feel that there are if you saw even in the slides, I told you that in relationships, right? What is happening? The weakness is coming up. The difficulties, the dormant issues are coming up. It's exactly what you're saying. So maybe some experiences which have been lying dormant, they are coming in the forefront because we have the time. And also one, we have the time. And secondly, there's nothing positive happening around us to engage. So how am I going to counter it? One, this is the time for me to put the reflect button, to put the refresh button, to pause, think, to make the changes. So this is also the time to refresh ourselves, the relationship with our own self, the relationship with others. So yes, all of us have been through some difficult times, some challenges, but am I going to keep dwelling on the challenges? No. I'm going to see what am I going to do to make a positive change over there. And thirdly, being positively occupied, like with all the things I told you. If we are staying positively occupied, trust me, we are not going to go down that downward spiral. So it is, like I said earlier also, it's not easy, but you have to attempt. So if I commit myself to something, I commit myself कि मुझको 3 किलो वजन कम करना ही करना है, then I will not eat that extra piece of mango. I won't have that extra sweet. I will run every day or whatever I need to do. Similarly, when I'm committing to myself that I'm going to heal myself, or I'm going to heal my relationship with myself or my relationship with somebody else, and I'm looking at the darker alleys, I'm going to make a change. So it's not simple, but I'm going to engage myself in positive work, positive self-talk, positive work, positive engagement with others, positive engagement with activities with yourself, which are going to give you some positivity. पॉजिटिविटी अब मिस है ना, तो उसको बढ़ाना है. कैसे बढ़ाएंगे? ऐसे ही बढ़ाएंगे. We're doing positive things, listening to pure positive things, satiating all our senses with positivity around, eating nicely, eating good food, listening to positive music, listening to positive things, like we're talking about positivity here, listening to some spiritual gurus, indulging in positive activities, whatever you may have, if you're by yourself, you may have, that long lost hobby, go for it. Try out something new, try out some new recipes. It's the time to do that. Like I said, it's time to rebuild your relationship with yourself and rebuild with others. All of us have our dark alleys. There is nobody without it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But talking of food, let me just say one more thing. Sorry, you love your family, and so far you've enjoyed looking after them. But this COVID has made you realize that they are nothing but just big stomachs which have to be fed all the time.
So, food also is a feel-good factor, no? So if we eat, so that's why they say if we eat good food, we'll feel good, like what Sukirti and I were talking in the beginning. Okay, both of us are dressed brightly because the environment is dull, so I may as well dress brightly. So I'm countering it. That's what I'm doing. So that is what we need to do. We need to take all the tools, all the tips and the tricks in the box and go for it and counter. I can't succumb to it and say that, oh my God, itna negative hai. Oh my God, I have so much time. Itna sab kuch hai, I'm going down. No, I'm going to convert it into something better. But my intention. So one of the first, before the positivity, is the positive intention. So I need to put the positive intention. Yeah, Sana, go for it, please.
Hi, ma'am. I'm so sorry. Wonderful session. Extremely learning. I just have two quick questions. One is when I'm sleeping at night, sometimes I feel I have palpitations going on. I wouldn't necessarily say it's anxiety because as per your slide, I'm doing everything: physical exercise, meditation, prayers, and constructive work, positive affirmations, everything. But sometimes at night, I get these palpitations, not necessarily something specific. How to cope with that? And secondly, if I am in a good state, I sometimes feel people around in my family are not in the best of that positive state. So maybe they are complaining of something, or they are watching the news and they are doing something, and that somehow I absorb that energy, and then I also, go in that spiral along with them. So these two things, ma'am, I wanted to ask you, what more can I do apart from what all you've shared, if I'm doing everything right or no?
So Sana, firstly, this palpitation you're getting, I would suggest please do speak to an expert, to a mental health expert. I would not like to neglect it, specifically because you're saying you're already doing a lot of, breathing work and a lot of other work on yourself, right? So then if there is something which is not going on right, I wouldn't neglect it. What does it take? It's all mental health professionals today are available at the drop of a button. You don't even need to go anywhere. And that's exactly what I've been telling everybody, that listen, if you were having stomach aches for off and on, what would you do? You would try some home remedies. You would have that Ajwain, you would have Digene, you would have OCID. Nahi theek hoga, you would go to a doctor. Then just set an appointment with the therapist. It's as simple as that. Just go and ask a professional that, listen, is this what I'm feeling? But in the meanwhile, while you go ahead and do something like that, seek professional help. All I'm saying is that it's not such a big task. It's very simple to just take some help professionally, and it's really nothing. There's nothing wrong there, to take care of your own mental health. I think that is something which should be prized, a prized possession. Why should I neglect it? I would not want to neglect this. Yes, Jasmine Bakras generally do fantastically well also. But coming back to Sana, you could also try some specific breathing exercises at that hour when you're feeling very down and out. That is, I'm again telling you, only interim until you get a professional opinion as to what is it that you're facing. Right. You also had a second question that you're saying that you want to stay positive and you're trying to stay positive and people around you are dragging you down and there is a lot of negativity around. Am I right? Did I hear that right? Yeah. Right. So we also need to know how to cut off toxicity, because we all have a threshold. Somewhere we have to start telling everybody around that, listen, no, I don't want to get, if someone is dragging you to there, you've come out of the कीचड़, you've had a bath. अब now someone saying चलो फिर कीचड़ में जाते हैं, कूदते हैं वहां पे. आप कह रहे हो मेरे को नहीं जाना है, मैं इधर खड़ी हूँ, I'm fine. So that is what you sometimes you also need to draw a line. So this is post trying to create a positive environment. So it's always nice to create a positive environment. Like I said, if one person also is positive in the family, you create something positive, cook something nice, do something fun. Why will people not engage? Come, let's all play a game. Come, let's do this. Let's not watch so much of news on the television. Let's switch to watch something better. So these are little things which you can do. But अगर आपको लग रहा है 5 लोग आपके ऊपर पड़ गए और कह रहे हैं नहीं भाई चलो आओ 3 घंटा न्यूज देखो, you don't need to do it. That's your own personal threshold. You need to put a cut. You need to put a barrier to it. That's exactly what we are. Yeah, most welcome. It's exactly what we are saying to social media also. No, you feel like getting dragged more and more and more. But then you need to create your own threshold, your own barriers. You have to have your own boundaries. Absolutely, Sheetal. You have to have your own boundaries. Otherwise, there is no end to it. Thank you.
So the last question I'm going to take from Rosie, she's worried about the stamina of her 6-year-old. He feels lazy mostly. And I think a lot of parents are worried about it because, a lot of kids at home, how to keep them entertained all day?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because yes, it's very tough but the important thing is that you need to ensure that the physical energies of the children are kind of, exhausted. So, Sukiti, I think you will be able to answer with your twins. What you're doing with your twins?
I think one of the big ones that you said is keep them on a schedule. Very, very important. And even for children that they need to have that schedule where they don't feel that watching TV is kind of the only prerogative. So you do need to have. So we've been fortunate that they still have their school. So they've got that 2 hours of time. They have their yoga time. They have different time during the day. So that keeps them pretty much engrossed, and the day goes by pretty fast.
But I really think that it's very important to make sure that all kids are having enough physical activity.
Yeah, the yoga time is very good.
Yeah, it's something, you get them a trampoline at home, take out a corner, let them jump, let them do something, play with them. You'll also feel nicely, positively tired, do some physical activity. And let me tell you one more thing. There are umpteen number of parents who are, making their children do breathing exercises beautifully, making them sit on their laps. And I've seen parents with 2-3-year-olds, doing meditation, doing breathing exercises, doing everything. So if we are going to incorporate all this in a daily life, I mean, can you believe the kind of generation that we are going to raise, which is all the, emotional quotient, all of this is going to be already incorporated. That is fantastic. So please, help them do some breathing exercises also.
So, well, Dr. Rachna, thank you for being with us. Any last words you'd like to leave with us before we end for today? And I know there are lots of questions, so please do reach out to Dr. Rachna on her pages, our pages. And people have asked again for what is the name of your app?
It's called the Mind and Wellness. So my clinic goes by the name of the Mind and Wellness Studio, and thereby the app is called the Mind and Wellness.
So excellent. Any last tips? I know you can read Dr. Rachna also on Times of India. You'll get lots of advice. Her column is a brilliant read. So please do.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Not to avoid.
Thank you. And you can certainly please get hold of, the copy of your book. And the last and not the least, I would say that, I think what we really all need to do is be a little grateful. Gratitude. And also, please start putting down a gratitude journal. It really helps. People are saying, what is the answer for depression? Aajkal sab low feel kar rahe. Answer kya? Answer hai to look at the positive side. So look at the positive side. How? By penning down gratitude daily, to see 5 things, 10 things that you're grateful about. Maybe that little, special dish somebody made, or maybe that, we saw the best TV program, you had that extra time to do it, you did that extra little breathing schedule, whatever it is that you are grateful for. And like I said earlier also, this is the time to sit back and reflect. It is not the time to go back into the dark holes of, where in our mind. It is a time to sit back, reflect, pause, rejuvenate, refresh, become the better version of yourself. And like how Sadhguru says, no, that after the pandemic, if we don't turn out 10% better physically, 10% better emotionally, 10% better spiritually, and there is something wrong we are doing. So it's, this whole pandemic has happened for a reason. So we better pull up our socks as a population, as a society. We are all responsible for what's happened to Mother Earth, and what's happening to all of us in some way or the other. So it's time to pull up our socks and like I said, look at all the aspects of your wellness, whether it's environmental, whether it's physical, emotional, intellectual, society. All these aspects is what is going to make you a rounded individual. And we need to work on all of these. It's not easy, but it's not tough either. All we need to do is set a goal.
Well, thank you, Dr. Rachna. Your sessions are always insightful. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We hope that all of you are safe. Please stay safe. And please do keep joining us. We have lots of interesting sessions coming up on Sipping Thoughts also.
Thank you, everybody, for listening in. So, Kirti, thank you always for being so loving and smiling and infusing positivity in everybody. Thank you, Rohit, always consistently there to help. And thank you, guys, for listening in. And stay safe, everybody. And I'm sure all is going to be absolutely well. Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Bye. Bye.